Prime tonight. You deserve a little break for them. And hopefully a better appetizer for what is ALBOG. I must say, for the series later on, I've got AL 2-0. And I think it's going to be pretty one-sided there, Grapes. Yeah, I don't have faith in Shadow.
With the new roster changes coming in, added on to the fact that it was a 3-0 for AL at MSI, I feel like that is definitely the expectation. However, you know, random magic always happens whenever BLG put a new jungler for the first time. So we'll see if that ends up becoming the case again going into split number 3. But we do have our draft on the screen right now. First ban phase completed. There's that Jax we were talking about. Now banned away for the second straight game against Jung. Making sure that he is on a pick less comfortable. The Varus was a ban that has been changed around going into game 2. And that means Baiye is going to get his hands on it.
Yeah, Varus being a red side ban game 1 by Ultra Prime. This time around, NIP opting to give that one over. No Ezreal to answer, so Misfortune Jhin. Some likely early candidates that we could see into that Varus. But of course, Varus being that ever so flexible D1 pick. As I just love seeing Doinb shake in his chair. And frankly, we have seen the Lee Sin be played by Naiyou in this split. But I would be remiss to say that this might be a Doinb Lee Sin himself. For whatever godforsaken reason, Doinb likes to play this pick mid. And we have not seen it be incredibly successful so far this split. But technically a flex pick that we expect to be in the hands of Naiyou, but still. Never know.
It's pretty good at it. I feel like Doinb's going to be happy to slam a Galio here on 3 and just let Naiyou do his thing.
Not the Trundle, I fear. Grapes.
Maybe if the Trundle gets locked in, it could be a little different. Yeah, that is fair enough. You get the Jhin that you mentioned, though, picked up for leave. I will say that Baiye, the Varus, has kind of been his most played champion throughout like the LDL, some of his earlier career leading up to this moment. So has not gotten an opportunity actually to play it in the LPL until this split. So an exciting moment for him on that pick. As you see a beefy topside opening up here. Jung not going for that assassin that we were maybe hoping for. It's going to be a Scion.
Trundle's not a great pick into Lee Sin. So I think they're going to take the Jarvan, which is a okay matchup. And then, of course, Cataclysm can be used to jail the Jhin. And does dissuade Doinb from taking a control mage mid that is flashless. So things like, you know, Akali or Silas, I think, go up a little bit in priority. As Doinb going to drop, continue to threaten the very real Lee Sin flex that we expect to be in the hands of Naiyou. But I just have to keep on teasing this because, honestly, the Doinb Lee Sin games were not... If you're an NIP fan, you probably remember those. You don't have the best memories of those, even if Doinb individually is a good Lee Sin player. I just don't think it's very useful mid.
That was this season?
Oh, yeah. It was multiple times this season.
Oh, man. There's been a lot of games this year. It's like kind of messing me up a little bit, my timeline. But
my favorite was the Pantheon mid. The Doinb Pantheon mid is always a treat. He's very good at the Pantheon.
Last time I saw him play Pantheon, I think he went like 0-10. It was like in a tiebreaker game in the split 2.
That's how you have to play Pantheon, man. For better or worse, we're balling.
Yeah, he likes to send it a lot. I think, again, that's why we think that having somebody like Naiyou by his side is going to be helpful for NIP for the entire season. Somebody who can really be a bit more of a carry threat. So you see the Galio actually taken away from Saber instead of maybe being locked up for Doinb. Is Saber really getting targeted as the Akali you also highlighted being banned as well in the second phase.
Yeah, I think Galio very unhappy in the Scion Jarvan and would be a very good pick to pair up with Jarvan. So I do like the ban from NIP, even if it is Doinb's, a signature champ of Doinb's. And yeah, there's the Silas taken away, so some mobility. And we'll see what the pick is here. I mean, opportunity to just priority snag an Alistar if you really want to. I know it would give the Varus name that can be very scary support counter. But with Silas taken away, I think that Ultra Prime, you got to believe that Alistar goes up a little bit in priority now.
Niket had such a great game as that primary engage on Varel, but it looks like instead they're going to go to Doinb, picking up something a little bit comfortable here on the Victor. Now, again, a bit of a deviation in terms of the playstyle that we like to see out of Doinb, or what we've seen from him this split specifically on NIP, but definitely a champion that can dish out a lot of damage and just be a general solid threat overall.
Looks like Ultra Prime going to lock in the Alistar in the end for XiaoXia. We'll say the Jhin Victor does have quite a bit of range into Alistar, so opportunity for that pick to get kited out in this game. But will certainly help out with the Cataclysm Wombo, as it's now coming with milk delivery and a bouncy house as well. As
that last pick gonna go over.
Do it, Saber.
Niket. There's no way that Echo gets locked in. I mean, it's like an OG matchup. We wanted to see him play some Assassins.
Yes!
And it is going to be an Echo here for Saber.
Oh my god!
Into Doinb's Victor. I have not seen an Echo mid in maybe years at this point.
I used to love this champion mid. The Yasuo Echo matchup's like one of the most fun matchups that exist in League of Legends. Oh my god, it's Echo mid. It's been so long since I've even talked about this pick, Grapes, but the idea with this pick is that I think the break point is still around level 5. You Q the wave, it just deletes it. So your ability to actually roam, yeah, Doinb's looking forward to this matchup. He's looking at his chops. I would be too, Doinb. You don't get to do a lot in this lane besides be Victor and hopefully survive it. But Jarvan plus Echo, ability to try and attack, and guess what? That Cataclysm now can be followed up and set up with an Echo stun. Sion, Alistar, Jarvan, and Varus, everyone to hold people in place to hit that Echo W. It is an insanely powerful spell if you are able to connect with it. Actually, you can kind of see the theory here for Echo. You can even play into the York side lane. You just Q the wave and then delete it and run away. Because the passive move speed you get from this champion is insane. So, curious if we end up seeing Saber go for the Halo Blades, which gives you the very fast passive procs, or something else. And I'm expecting an Assassin Echo. It's probably going to be Lich Bane, probably going to be going for the one-shot, and going to be some excitement here.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, looks like Saber heard our requests to make things a little bit spicy, but I think overall the Echo actually functions well into the Victor and decently well into the overall
composition. Pull up my LOL analytics here.
For Ultra Prime. As, honestly, for NIP on the other side, a bit of a disjointed draft overall. You have, like, the Yorick on a side lane. You have 2 backline damage threats, I suppose, and Lee Sin thrown in there. I feel like this is actually an opportunity for Ultra Prime to do some work.
I used to love this champ, man. This thing is so fun to play mid. I'm mostly seeing Halo Blades taken by the mid laners that are playing this. Not that it's being played very commonly right now. This is still a rather niche champion. But man, gonna have to see what the Echo can do. As a very big surprise from Saber. And yeah, he will be rocking the Halo Blades, which pretty much means an instant passive proc. As your E does teleport to whatever target. And then when you proc the passive, you get a giant move speed boost. That I believe also helps get you out of some slows too. Very good and useful against the Victor Gravity Field.
Oh man, I'm excited to see this champion.
Yes,
again,
the Echo team scales.
Long.
Good job, AI Graph from the LPL Solokill. What goes on over there, man?
Hey, they got a Sion. They got an Alistar. They got a lethal Tempo Varus.
The NIP comp is outscaling this game, Grapes. I don't care what the hell is going on the super server over there.
Doing a little research here before we get into this game. No official Echo games, at least on Leaguepedia, for Saber in his 2-year career. 2024 with Ultra Prime Academy. 2025, of course, here with UP Main. So that's a fun time here. As we see the graphic on the bottom of your screen, not selected since 2022. It's been quite a while.
In the 4 major regions, we have not seen an Echo in summer. We haven't seen an Echo all year. So first pick in a 4 major region, or I should say 5 now. Yeah, the 5 big regions. First Echo pick of the year coming out for Saber. So yeah, my reaction was authentic, Grapes. I was very surprised about this one.
Yeah, and you can see a little bit of the early trading that it wants to do. Again, jumping in with that E level 1, just pressuring Doinb out. You're obviously going to miss out on some of that early wave clear without the Q. So Doinb hitting level 2 first in that matchup, you're going to be quite all right with that until you get to, of course, that break point of level 5, 7 or so. So NIPs currently have priority in all 3 of their lanes, but that's surely to change soon, depending on what this Echo is able to do.
And you can see like how the Q just deletes the waves. I mean, a single Q and just an auto attack can take down the mage creeps right now for Saber. He does need a few levels, though, before he can really start to pressure the Victor. And the scary part for Victor is whenever you're far up in lane, because I think that you want to send Jarvan, try and get that Victor's flash down. If he doesn't have flash in this lane, it is very difficult for him to play, because Gravity Field just never can lock down an Echo. Can always be mobile against you, given the passive.
Again, I don't really know exactly how this NIP composition is really going to function. You have a lot of mixes of early game with like the Lee Sin, and then some late game with the Victor. You got
Jin's the Band-Aid. We're gonna those deadly flourishes. You're just gonna be Mr. Useful here, Grapes. I will say the pets from Yorick can help proc him. Also the long-range lasers of Doinb. I think that it is playable later on, as we did see Saber actually take that priority base. Yeah, Dark Seal acquired that should help with the breakpoint on the Q. And you can see these Qs going out. I mean, is it a level 4 breakpoint with these 2 items? If you're able to one-tap the backline minions, that's big. Because, again, that's when you start to jail the Victor and can really get out and get active in the lane. His ability's going wide from each of our junglers.
Looks like Ultra Prime actually do gain control of that river, though, with Saber able to push up that mid lane, force Doinb to clear out a little bit before taking his first base himself. So Junhao going to be very happy about this situation, and with Doinb backing, he thought maybe there was an opportunity for Junhao to try to go for that double crab, but going to be Doinb teleporting right back and making sure that doesn't happen.
So easier for Echo to last hit. That passive on the W does help you execute minions. Nice little feature there. As Echo, I mean, I think Mel stole that one from Echo. Each from Arcane, though, so I guess they both get the cheater mode, gathering your resources. I cannot believe that I'm casting Echo in a game in Season 15. This is ballistic. And this is usually right now, I think we see this champion as a solo queue pub stomper out of jungle. Because if you get ahead, your ability to just really blast people and do a lot of damage it's high on Echo. And Echo, I mean, this is a very high damage champion from the combo. And what I'm expecting to see is Rocket Belt Lich Band and just going for the one-shots.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, overall, that should be the goal for Ultra Prime with the Echo and the Jarvan against 2 immobile backline carries in the Yorick and the Jhin. Swifty's picked up here for Leave to make sure that's a little bit less impactful. But yeah, overall, a lot of good dive threat set up here for Ultra Prime. And then you have Baiye on this Varus, who has gone for the lethal tempo, so will be on hit. He's going to be your main backline threat to try to make sure everything's rather evened out on this Ultra Prime composition.
Yeah, I will say the on-hit, I guess with the front line they have between Sion, Jarvan, Alistar, actually pretty playable. But I have beef against on-hit Varus. I've seen too many times, too many fights, especially in the LPL Graves, where this build on Varus, you just get outranged or out-interacted and have difficulty actually autoing throughout a fight. It needs a lot of help and a lot of setup. And if it is given it, I mean, it does enough deeps where you can pretty much take down an entire team by yourself.
I love playing some lethal tempo Varus. You feel really
like
strong if you have that lethal tempo proc. You're just like issuing out blight stacks. Your cooldowns just keep coming back up after you know, as soon as you throw out an E, your Q's back up, vice versa. But again, it's about finding those moments. But Ultra Prime gonna try to be able to help space out for their new 80 carry. Again, maybe had some trouble with that, and both of our mid laners have hit level 6. XiaoXia come with the headbutt pull, but Doinb's throwing out the Arcane Storm, and Naiyou in to dish out a couple of damage as well. EQ Flash will land onto the Lee Sin, and Junhao's come to party. The Saber Echo is trying to pick up the first blood, but it'll be taken down himself as Niket comes to the rescue. John coming in from the bottom lane to make sure it's a 1-for-1, and the Flag and Drag going in from Junhao to try to land a little bit more damage onto Niket. He used the Grand Entrance to get on out of there. And a chaotic skirmish around the mid lane yields things even overall.
No swag flag available to wrap up that kill on Niket, but chaos early on. Kill goes over to Lee Sin, kill goes over to Sion. And looking at the waves, it does feel like NIP going to get a chance to respond to the swap if they want to towards the top side. See the Jhin going there. And the only advantage I really feel like that made early on was the fact that Doinb lived. Doinb being up, I'd say half a level against Echo, that is quite useful. As you will get stat checked later on by Victor if you're not able to kill him. But Doinb did lose the flash here, so we'll have to see if they can punish that.
Nice play overall.
Did he lose the flash?
For XiaoXia, but he's buying a little bit too much time. Is NIP. Nice EQ flash here from Junhao to make sure that knockup is guaranteed. Saber doesn't have the juice just yet, and the heal from Niket also doing a whole lot.
You lose the damage if you do the EQ knockup like that, and they definitely needed the damage to take down Naiyou. They couldn't find him, and yeah, Doinb, I think very key, actually did not use his flash. I thought he did in that skirmish. It was Naiyou and Niket that burned the flashes. Doinb did not. Very big for the Victor. Again, that flash does get you out of the Echo W, which can be very deadly if set off, especially with the Jarvan. Because Cataclysm into Echo W, that's a pretty sound way to secure a kill.
It's going to be a fun combo to watch later on, especially if you can burn the flashes, as you mentioned, off of this Victor and the Jhin. Naiyou, though, coming in to do a little bit of damage onto the bot lane here of Ultra Prime. Baiye getting helped out a little bit by XiaoXia with a really nice pulverize, and it results in Niket going down with the help of Junhao. So Ultra Prime punishing the attempted gank here from Ninjas and Pyjamas, and that's going to give them piles around these grubs.
And they just let Niket catch the Chain of Corruptions and get one tap there, as that looked a little bit goofy. And Victor going to be able to get back and catch this wave in time, but again, you can see the pushing power of Echo. Now you can really match the power of Victor when it comes to pushing. Very rare to find the champion that can do that. So Echo Fog, very important for him to be able to set up those Ws. That's a very telegraphed ability. Hiding your animation for that's key.
They get 2, but Naiyou jumps in with Doinb to make sure it is not the full set of grubs taken. However, it is still Feet of Monster Slaying going to be going into the hands of Ultra Prime. No dragon taken just yet. It's a lot of focus has been around the top side of the map.
Like how you know the feats. Right now. Very professional, you Graves.
I've had to learn, because I kept saying, like, Feet of some... I knew Feet of Warfare. That's, like, the obvious one.
It's just... I just call it feats overall. Are feats secured or not? And then you get kills, objective tower.
Yeah.
But that's me being lazy. That's me taking shortcuts.
The thing is, Riot also took some shortcuts, because it's Feet of Monster Slaying and Feet of, like, First Turret. Like, those are not very creative names. It feels like they kind of knew that we were not going to be, you know, naming them either. And so
it was a missed opportunity to provide bricks, you know, to the game. You could have called it Feats of Bricks. Bricks of Feats?
Feats of Bricks. I mean, Feats of
First Brick.
Feet of Destruction. Feet of... I don't know. There's some options there. But we'll workshop that together, Riot, next year. Yeah, Feet of Monster Slaying is not... it doesn't hit, right? It doesn't...
No.
It sounds like I'm making it up, but it actually is what the game calls it.
Meanwhile, think of the emotes you can make if it's like feats of bricks or being first bricked, especially if you want to be a little cheeky with it, Graves. a lot of emote potential there.
Come on.
A lot of emote potential.
Flashing the brick emoji after like somebody has a great play. I mean,
you're dumb as bricks, or you just got bricked. You know. Think of the potential.
There's some potential there. Well,
this could be like a bait ping that actually gets to exist in League of Legends, you know? Like that popular.
Well, I don't know if we want that necessarily.
No, exactly. Like the fame of it you do want from the emote. You want people to use it. You just don't want it to mean something that bad, which
let's
the bait one did. The brick one does not.
Feet of bricks. What do we call the monster slaying one? There's got to be something here. Can that be combined with an emote as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that you have to stick to like, because the new monsters that they've introduced to the game, it's the grubs, the herald, kind of the void creeps. If you can find a way to intertwine that and the dragons, that would be quite nice. I think, but I'm missing. It's not coming to me as easily.
I'll think about it. Maybe at the end.
This feat of monster slaying, like. If you want to be really tactical about it, it should be feat of epic monster slaying. If it's just
that's
monsters,
true.
it means
you
you're just killing camps.
Blue buff. Yeah, that's
exactly.
True. Can you imagine? Whoever completes their jungle item first, like gets a feat. That would be. So
I think that would be a nice backdoor addition into the game. Is that if somehow you don't have feats secured 25 minutes in, taking one of the juiced red or blue buffs just gives it to you.
Yeah, but I mean. Like that would never happen. You'd need like
exactly grapes. Exactly. That's why we sneak into the game backdoor. If it does happen, it's like, wow, you suck so bad. You couldn't get feats till now. And
take the blue buff, man.
as you know, not to insult any other global leagues going on right now, especially ones that might have toppled us at MSI, but that league might actually get that one to hit. Grapes.
They take objectives though. I feel like no, like they don't.
They do.
They don't fight
but some of the game paces we have over there, you know, not
honestly,
all the top teams are that good.
The fact that we're having this conversation right now means that the eras have changed in the LPL as well. Because it's 3 kills, 12.5 minutes in. Nothing really much has happened. I feel like we were getting some of that at MSI as well. You know, if we're being completely honest here. And IPL have themselves a slight lead, but basically dead even. As Ultra Prime have been able to pressure this top side of the map a little bit. Saber's going to get a lot of chip damage onto the tier 1 turret. Going to pick up a little bit of chip onto Doinb as well. There's a chrono break to try to get out of this one, but you're not going to need it.
I mean, you don't care. You traded evenly. And you keep your ult. Doinb lost his. So that's, again, some of the idea, theory behind Echo. This is a very good match for Echo. If there's any match we're going to see it in, I think it's going to be this one combined with the Cataclysm. And hey, it was on our wish list, Grapes. We did want to see some more action from Ultra Prime, enabling Saber to play one of those melee specialist picks that we did see from him in Demacia Cup in Split 1 when Ultra Prime was looking a little bit stronger in the LPL. this is part of the winning formula for him, enabling Saber to play picks like this. Maybe not this crazy, but the Akali and Yasuo were damn good.
Yeah, I mean, he again, played Tryndamere a couple times, and even things like that. Like, he has a couple Zed games under his belt. Again, you mentioned the Yasuo and the Yone. That's where we've seen Saber at his best. I feel like that's what the impression that we got of him when he first came into the LPL. So glad that he's getting the opportunity to be a little bit more creative. Even when his team is down 0-1, I feel like a lot of the times when you whip out these crazy picks, you're up in a series, but Ultra Prime, I feel like they need a little bit of juice, a little bit of extra sauce to try to take down a Titan in Group Nirvana like Ninjas and Pyjamas.
I just need a little bit of extra juice and sauce to take down the Scion that every time I look bot, he's just farming the ghouls, Yorick.
Which give you health, by the way.
Yeah, they do. And looking at that Soul Furnace passive, he's already above 800 health from his W.
That's insane, actually.
That's a lot.
Generally, my rule is 1,000 at 20 is pretty good. He's gonna get that.
He's gonna be over 1,200 easy.
Oh.
And
nice.
I mean, we haven't really seen the Yorick response to Scion as much as Yorick's Q got nerfed, and that is your bread and butter ability, so that's a pretty big deal. As posturing over the red buff, this is a little scary.
No parallel convergence available. Niket's going to go forward, but he gets instantly chained down by the Chain of Corruption. And Saber claims that feat of warfare over for Ultra Prime. Curtain Call and Arcane Storm already used, and that means UP have an opportunity to go straight forward again. Parallel convergence is going to find Doinb. Not enough chip damage yet onto him as he's a Chrono Shift away. But overall, you're going to be very happy about that if you're Ultra Prime.
Good Echo gameplay coming out from Saber there, and you can see what happens when Echo does find a squishy. It's only a rocket belt for the Echo, but that Rakan got blown up as Niket entered that fight and immediately exited into a gray screen. And a lot of that was thanks to the Echo damage. It was pretty significant onto the Rakan.
Ultra Prime. Again, the team that is 0-2 in Group Nirvana right now. Proving that they can compete a little bit here against NIP. Again, they do have, in our opinion, a nice early game focused mid-jungle duo, so they need to keep making these plays, keep finding these opportunities. But overall, happy about how they've been able to be at least a little bit more aggressive, at least in terms of the fights that they have been selecting in these first 16 minutes.
Yeah, what we're concerned about later on for Ultra Prime is getting outranged, which can happen with Victor, Jhin. Very malleable front line with Lee Sin, Rakan as well. Getting caught out, though, is pretty bad for NIP. They take a lot of damage early on, can be tough. And that has been the winning formula for Ultra Prime in the early game. As we have seen a couple of opportunities where they've been able to get on top of NIP and deliver the damage, especially to Niket's Rakan. Doesn't feature the tankiness quite like the picks we were teasing earlier on. It could be played in the Alistar, like the likes of a Leona. I don't think it's exactly a Leona game I'd advocate for Graves, but still Rakan and the Echo is a little tricky. Making good use of that pick again for Saber and taking advantage of Niket not having as many picks in Fearless and not taking a champion that is good in Echo, maybe not being quite as familiar with it too.
He's going to go in for a play here onto XiaoXia as Ultra Prime. Maybe gone a little bit too far forward to take down this mid lane tier 1. XiaoXia flashing away with that Unbreakable Will onto him. Sure, he survives, but now NIP get themselves a timer in the mid lane after they've already taken that top lane tier 1 and got a big chunk on the tier 2.
Ultra Prime, I mean, this map, it doesn't feel like the Echo into Yorick is the answer. And I think that if I'm Ultra Prime, I want to get Saber playing into the Victor. Because for me, that's how they can play out this stage of the game. Like, send Jarvan into the Victor lane and see what happens to actually take advantage of this Echo pick. You can use to blow up something like a Victor. Instead, playing into the Yorick takes a lot of time to clean up those ghouls. Scion doesn't scale quite as hard, and, well, Victor gets free time with the turret, and that thing just gets deleted by Doinb down there. As NIP have secured a nice little gold lead. Coming into the third dragon that will be spawning, and will be a soul point that they're trying to deny over on the side of Ultra Prime.
A little bit of a different style from Doinb today, you know, or this game specifically, right? Where he's not going for these fights and going for these engages on the roams, but he's finding opportunities to push these waves in. I think he got a lot of damage onto that top tower initially, then now taking bot lane tier 1 all for himself, and it's allowed him to stay even here with Saber, despite the Echo being the one who's a little bit more powerful in that early game and holds the individual lane counter.
All right, Ultra Prime. At Yorick, that's a level 2 Maiden.
Flash
Pretty
away
healthy.
initially, but the stun combined with the flag and drag should be enough. It's going to be Baiye getting a kill in the mid lane as well as he must have stepped too far forward. They didn't even use the Chain of Corruption. It was just probably a knock-up into a Scion ulti that results in the Jhin picking up his first death of the game.
Didn't use any sums either for leave. And will be mid-outer falling. That's a bit of an unforced error from NIP, as that gold lead they just had swings right back into the hands of Ultra Prime. We're going to stick around and try and knock down this mid-outer, and should be able to do so in this next wave.
See if NIP have anything to say about it, but it should just be Ultra Prime getting a chance to extend their gold lead and take down their second tower. And as you mentioned, a couple more autos are going to do it. John gets the final kill credit. As I want to see a replay of what exactly happened there in the mid lane if we do have some time, because Leaf just seemingly got caught with his pants down a little bit.
I think it's going to be a Scion connection. Yep.
One shot.
All right. No summoner spells used there. That's the right move.
It's so satisfying when you hit those long-range Scion ultis. I mean,
it is. You know what's not satisfying for me?
Yeah.
Going Collector first on Jhin into Scion Alistar.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
You're trying to one-shot the Jarvan? Question mark?
It is. I mean, I think it's an LDR second angle, whatever we go. Which it also doesn't look to be the choice from Leave, but we'll see if Leave changes his mind there. Yeah, the items going towards an Infinity Edge early on, and the items, Ultra Prime pretty far ahead, 2k gold lead, and those second items coming in first means that they're going to actually bring a lot more power onto the Rift. It matters they're trying to secure Soul Point. Leave loses his flash to the Cataclysm. That ult will be back up for the Dragon.
And XiaoXia playing very aggressive into the jungle as well. They land the headbutt pull, combined with the flag and drag. Not a lot of follow-up damage though just yet. It's enough for just a bit of a contest around the Raptors, and the red buff will be next. Junhao should be able to secure this one very, very nicely, as Ultra Prime really taking a stranglehold over the Summoner's Rift right now.
He's kind of getting smacked now. It's been the full priority and all you can eat buffet for Ultra Prime in this topside jungle. It's the second time in a row they've been able to deny that red buff away from Naiyou. On the Lee Sin, that's a lot more gold they were able to get denied from NIP and utilize to get a Lich Bane for Echo. So look out for the damage from Saber. It will be significant when he connects with the E-Dash between this and the Hail of Blades. And man, we'll see if NIP even wants to contest this Dragon. I really do not feel like they're strong enough, and the way that NIP is posturing, they seem to agree.
Again, the way the composition is set up here for Ninjas Pyjamas is not necessarily conducive to just full-on 5v5 teamfights around objectives, right? You have Yorick kind of in an odd place all the time, Lee Sin more of a skirmisher, and then these two carries in the backline that haven't fully scaled up just yet. So it's going to be a weird situation for NIP. It seems like they're going to try to catch Ultra Prime off guard a little bit by starting up this Otacon though. XiaoXia now going to spot them out, but will it be too late? Saber does not have teleport, so he won't be able to join this fight.
I'm surprised that NIP is actually pulling off, because they're going to have a 5v4.
For the time being.
Saber's going to show mid, or no, snuck through mid.
He's running, he's trudging his way over. As now Ultra Prime actually gaining control of the Otacon pit. Junhao now the one to gain aggro onto it. Gonna be a full 50-50, but Naiyou's not even able to get into the pit. It's secured here by UP after NIP were the one to start it off, and now John going in with the unstoppable
Where's
onslaught,
Saber?
getting that onto Naiyou, forcing him to dash away with the safeguard. NIP just leashed that here for Ultra Prime. They didn't even go for a fight afterwards.
Didn't even go for a steal either with the Lee Sin, that the Q execute can be pretty big on those sonic waves. It's not even a valid look in the end. Kind of disappointing for NIP, because the roll of the dice there is that you're able to get an Otacon because they're focused on the Dragon. Well, Otacon leash given over for free, and Ultra Prime, they quickly base, take the strength they already had and picked up further from that Otacon. Get back to the Dragon, say thank you very much. It's going to be Soul Point all for us, uncontested.
Now, might even caught out Niket again, who was trying to do a little bit of scout duty, able to use that grand entrance away. He picked up a summoner spell smite. He was dreaming big, but those dreams will be squashed as it's now Ultra Prime with Infernal Soul Point and a 3,000 gold lead. Cubby, looks like our predictions about the schedule might have been a little bit wrong. It's looking like Ultra Prime going to try to send us to a game 3.
Yeah, I like how our producer too, like in the break, said, "Oh, I fixed it to make sure they all matched." It's like, no, we should have left the joke in there for the fans. Like, we're removing Easter eggs here. It's not what they do in the movies. You know, Happy Gilmore 2 has the record for the most cameos ever in a movie.
I mean, that movie is just like a chance to get as many celebrities on screen as possible.
And somehow, I've heard it doesn't suck. I thought, like, you know, that's like, if there's any sign for a movie to suck, it's the fact that you have over 80 cameos in there.
Just like the entire cast of anybody who's ever been in an SNL skit.
It's like half the PGA Tours in there.
Yeah, that too. Oh, man. I'm excited to watch it. You know, I know you're a golf guy, so.
I'm going to have to watch it at some point. It's contractual. The first one's an all-time classic. We're just going to hope the second one gives us some laughs. I have low expectations. It's hard to make a good comedy sequel, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be goofy. Gonna be enjoying that one. Just like this game.
We can't all be Tyler Perry, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
That guy pumping out those sequels like it's nobody's business.
I just gave him a lot of credit saying he made good sequels, too. You just made sequels, you know? I feel like those sequels were not good, but he made a lot of them.
Made a lot of them. Some hits, some misses. Is kind of how this game's been going right now for NIP. Looking for plays, not able to find all of them. As Naiyou on this Lee Sin, not necessarily as impactful, I should say, as maybe we were hoping for.
It's the 3 AD, obviously. It's definitely not the champ. It's...
Of course, AD. Now we got Doinb caught out by Jung, I should say. Decimating Smash going to be flashed away from the Arcane Storm has come out. Does chunk down Jung to a decent amount of HP. Deadly Flourish not going to connect though, so NIP just doing enough to regain control of their own jungle.
Can NIP actually push them around or threaten tempo at all with that? That's my question, because they have a pretty good health bar advantage. Yeah, I like the fact that they're playing this one out. No bot camps up, though, so the play stops there. And NIP still can't find a real win on the map.
It's a slow game here, but I mean, remember that Ultra Prime kind of have this like early game advantage. That's what they're using it for right now, and it's given them enough to get a 3,000 gold lead. However, there are scaling elements to this composition, right? Cubby, you have this Scion with the infinitely scaling health. You have this on-hit Varus. It's going to be able to do a lot of damage in these late-game team fights. The question is, are they going to be able to get in range, you know, quick enough, or have the ability to actually hit the players that they need to? So far, it's looking like the answer is yes. NIP really have just been pushed around all game long.
I mean, so far, it certainly seems like they're having no issues at all finding these engages. I mean, every ult we've seen from Zhong feels like it's rang true. As the Scion ult's pretty much just been a dinner bell.
Ooh.
They don't know they're spotted.
Finding that blind spell right there. Naiyou going for the flash play, but Baiye with a nicely timed flash of his own. He's going to make sure the insect does not connect it. Instead, it'll be Naiyou going down. Knockup lands on the leave as well. It's going to be a slaughter in the mid lane in favor of Ultra Prime. 4 members of NIP are down, as Ultra Prime now have the opportunity to push down the mid lane and then even go for the Baron afterwards.
I don't think we won because of the Echo, but the fact that Echo, I believe the first competitive lock-in of Echo we've had since 2022. What I saw from Elk Battery. It's going to find a win here in the LPL. Again, I kind of like the angle for it. Can definitely actually push and pressure Victor a little bit. And while we didn't see it in the 1v1,
we
did see it hold true in the 5v5s. Ultra Prime going to push it to a game 3 here, Grapes.
It's 5 seconds on Naiyou. They're just going to end the game. Baron not even necessary in just the same amount of time as game number 1 was won by NIP. Ultra Prime bounce right back and are going to send ourselves to a decider.
All right, I feel like if we open up a draft with Lee Sin Jin, that probably should be the result if you're NIP, because that was a tough one. Insta Scion lock-in, like both champions hate their lives, and the response is we did not see the proactivity from NIP. Meanwhile, for Ultra Prime, asked for more proactivity, asked for potentially a melee pick, an assassin from Saber. We got both from them as they find the win, and looked much better in the process here, Grapes.
In that draft for NIP, I mean, we mentioned it at the top, it seemed very disjointed. There was a lot of pieces that kind of wanted to do different things, it seemed like. Yorick wanted to split push. Lee Sin wants to skirmish early. Victor wants to scale. Jin and Rakan, they can kind of do their own thing down there in the bottom lane. And it never really came to full force. Meanwhile, for Ultra Prime, again, a big identity, which was just use this Echo to generate a lot of priority. Him and the Jarvan were very helpful in terms of just starting fights, invading constantly. And they were able to do enough to just, you know, win that game rather handily. NIP felt like they were desperate for an opportunity to engage. That's why Naiyou went for that super faulty play it ended up being. But yeah, that's all it took. And Ultra Prime were able to basically full ace them after that. And now, of course, even up our series against a team that we thought were going to be the big favorites coming into the day.
I mean, to be fair, I still feel that way about NIP, but that draft ended up being a bit of a stinker. Lee Sin Victor, not exactly a winning combo there. And see if NIP can go back to the drawing board, find something better for Game 3. But hey, for Ultra Prime, I think a lot of positives out of that. I thought Jung had a really nice Scion game. Did see Baiye step up a couple times as the Varus. Definitely punished Lee, but actually had a pretty solid showing in a marksman game. Definitely something we've been looking for out of him on Ultra Prime. So I think some real positives you can take away is up. And a pretty disastrous draft for NIP in hindsight, looking back. It's not a lot of ways to be proactive between Lee Sin and Victor. And we were hoping that Jin could band-aid it all together. No. Wasn't exactly what happened there.
Yeah, you hit it as well. Collector Jin into the Scion Alistar. Maybe it was not the solution there. As Leave was not able to do too much. If you take a look at our post-game, pretty even overall until Ultra Prime ended up kind of grasping control a couple minutes into the game. Not really much damage was needed. It was a very methodical win. It was 5-1 until that last fight that ended the game.
I'm seeing bot jungle diff on my screen is what I'm seeing, Grapes. We early picked Lee Sin, we early picked Jin, and neither were able to play too well. So, bit of a bummer. And Doinb, he's going to hoist a lot of the damage stats for just throwing lasers in the tanks. But, yeah, that's honestly a bit of a surprise for me. I wasn't surprised to see NIP take as one side of the game against Ultra Prime. But, man, Ultra Prime doing the same to NIP, just blitzing them in less than 27 minutes was not on my bingo card for the night, Grapes.
Bit of a depressing one if you're an NIP fan. If you're in Shenzhen right now watching that one, might not be the most morale-boosting performance that you saw from your guys. But hey, at least that means you get to see another game of course, the home team performing. If you get to look at some of these replays, NIP looked like they got off to a decent start here. But then Zhang showed up and made it a little bit less of an even fight.
Yeah, I think Zhang is probably the pog this game. Grapes, what do you think?
Ooh, that's an interesting choice. I feel like you almost want to give it to the Echo just because it was picked, but not necessarily the most impactful. I mean, we're just going to jump straight to the game ending right here. Again, Naiyou going for that hero play. He flashes just a little bit in the wrong direction.
Vision broke. Yeah, he was outside the brush. Baiye was in the brush, and so the kick doesn't connect. He instead kicks Alistar, which made things go from bad to worse, I fear. As the hero Lee Sin play was not available, and well, Doinb might be advocating for himself a little bit more the next time they pick Lee Sin that early in draft, Grapes. I think that's what's going to happen from that.
Maybe Zhang is our MVP. Just watching some of those
highlights.
I think so. Yeah. Looked pretty good on that Scion. Again, not necessarily something he was very much known for in his time in the LCP/PCS last year, but you know, going from Frank Esports over to Ultra Prime hasn't necessarily been the same look for him in the LPL this time around. So seeing a bit of an adjustment in his playstyle, seeing him on the weak side on the Scion, able to stack up a ton of that HP against the Yorick, and then have some really impactful team fights, some really big ultimates. Remember, they caught out Leave in the mid lane in that kind of mid-game sequence right there. So maybe he does get it this time around. And it leaves some questions for what NIP are going to want to do here going into this game number 3, because I felt like we saw a very similar situation for them in their series actually against LGD, where it was a really dominant game 1, a horrible draft that resulted in them getting stomped in game 2, and then they end up winning game 3. It's about them trying to fix that game in the middle that is going to end up being really important for them.
Yeah, so they can pull it out. Do want to see Doinb maybe find something where he's able to enable the team a little bit more. I think that he played the Victor well, but I felt like the team was a little bit lost without him on the enabler. And yeah, one Jung, pretty nice pog from him. A solid Scion game, gets his first pog of the split, and yeah, not much else to talk about in that one, Grapes. That was just the right call. Those Scion ults were more like dinner bells, man. And he was hot soup coming through.
Calling for a free game coming in for Ultra Prime as well, as 2 27-minute games so far. One for Ninjas in Pyjamas, one for Ultra Prime. They've been pretty one-sided both ways. We'll see if that ends up continuing in terms of trend, as NIP will get blue side for this decisive game number 3, or if we'll get something a little bit closer for our final matchup of Group Nirvana for the day. Gonna take a short break. When we come back, it will be that decider between UP and NIP.